world, society in it only hears about this information. I wouldn't call it conspiracy because even though we talk about conspiracy, we aren't. We're not theorizing. It's not like that. We're actually finding facts, history, things that have actually occurred, and we talk about those things. Now, how I ended up, becoming someone who talks about this type of thing. When I was around 11 years old, I've always been interested in paranormal stuff. I know you talk about a lot of that. And I kind of just watched a lot of shows about it. And then, at first it was just entertainment, I just wanted to see what was out there. But then the more, like the older I got around, 13, 14, I started to actually do, research. And then I started researching other topics that had nothing to do with things I was looking at, like the paranormal. I started all types of information. So I'm saying I had to study or research or everything. And now I have a broad spectrum.
Can you not close that door?
A lot of stuff. I don't know how to categorize. You need no that we can talk about it. Like that. So that's about it right there for how I ended up becoming an esoteric. Someone who talks about it, I guess. I don't know if you have a title. I like to just call it a genius, if you will. Someone who's just interested in knowledge, learns knowledge, and then teaches other people and how to give them information and boost their intelligence. Are you still there?
I'm here, Jamal. Can you be a little more specific and just pick a topic and just kind of go with it?
Alright, well, let's see. For instance, I was talking to some of my classes the other day about light and how perception, this is a very interesting one. A lot of people in this world, their perception is very diminished, to say at the very least, and if you really be up there, it can be very tainted. Because nowadays, people think life is just about working, years and years, then they retire, and then that's about it. They have no real ambition, they're not really inspired by things. A lot of people become apathetic to the world and, the wars, crime, all types of stuff like that. But even more so, they're apathetic about their own freedom. So, in my mind, the most you can be enslaved in isn't the physical, but the mental. So a lot of people, they're kind of conditioned to think in a certain mindset. So a lot of people think that they have their own way of perception and viewing the world with their own outlook, but in reality, it was fed to them. They were programmed this way by television. And it's kind of interesting because when you really get down to it, TV stands for television. Television also is short for television programming because you're being programmed, if you will. So basically, nowadays a lot of people watch reality TV shows. They listen to the news about everything and they believe it as if the news is infallible. Like the news can do no wrong or have their own agendas or have their own, projects that they're trying to push out to the people, trying to get them to accept. They're bombarded by commercialism. So basically, this is why society, when it comes to economy, is like the way it is today. Because they think we're in a recession and all these things, but when you really look at it, these people are still buying iPads, they're still buying laptops, they're still buying all the electronics that cost hundreds of dollars, and still managing to live where they're living and all these other things. So apparently there's no recession or depression, or whatever you want to call it. There's not really none of that. It's that there's more taxes, there's more, there's increase in electricity every year. When we really look at society and how it evolves, the electricity bill should go down every year because we should be 1 year closer to having free electricity or having better means of electricity, more efficiently. But of course, that's not what it's about. They want to drain money. And when I say they, I mean the companies or the corporations, whoever's making the most profit of it. So, whenever your electric company happens to be they don't want to say, oh, by the way, we found ways to give a wide range of people free electricity or very, very affordable electricity. Instead, they're going to increase. this is what's gonna happen. New technology, newer phones come out, and yet the older phones have been out for several years. They're still the same price. Why, as a company, why would you lower the price of something you know people have been conditioned into wanting and thinking it's going to make them happy? Is a market with commercialism. Instead, why would you do that? You're not going to lower the price. You're going to keep the same price and give them more expensive things to purchase stuff.
So let me ask you this, Jamal. I want to take some steps back. And first of all, you grew up in Phoenix, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So now, when you were growing up, were you abducted by aliens, or did you having experiences with aliens or ghosts or anything like that?
No, when I told you about the UFO thing, it's nothing to do with abductions or anything like that. I view UFOs. I've seen orbs of light, and to me nowadays it's just like seeing the airplane or like seeing a bird. Because I never had the mindset for very long that we were the only one in the universe. So for me to see it never like let's call it a spaceship, whatever you want to call it. Let's say if I saw one of those, which I have in the past, I'm not surprised by it because I know there's things out there.
So you've seen spaceships when you were a kid growing up. Is that what I hear you saying?
I've seen them not just growing up, like when I was young. I've seen them recently. I've seen one like a year ago. I've seen actually several, more than one, but I don't keep track. It's just another thing.
So all throughout your life, you've experienced seeing UFOs like close or at quite a bit of distance, or what are you talking about?
Different situations, and I've seen several close-ups. I've seen several from a distance. Got it.
Now, have any of them ever communicated with you, like via telepathy or anything like that? Have they ever said anything to you?
No. I remember one time I was on my balcony. This is when I was in Maryland. Because I grew up in Phoenix, and I went to the East Coast, and I came back. Well, when I was in Maryland, I seen this orb of light, and I don't feel that these are like the same as UFOs that everyone else sees. Because I've seen UFOs, it's almost like you can just tell that it's like seeing a truck or something. You almost can tell that it's a vehicle or something there. But with these orbs of light, they just kind of they just don't seem like they have materialism to them. Like they're not physical. It just doesn't feel that way. So basically, I seen one that was like probably 2 trees up. If you look out your window and see a typical tree outside, it was probably twice the distance up in the sky, and it was coming closer towards me when I was on my balcony. I was on my phone at the time. And it was nighttime, probably around 7 or 8, not sure. And when I looked up, I didn't know what it was. I just saw a blowing light. For a split second, I thought it was like a shooting star about to hit me or something. So I kind of like jumped. And I started to reflex. Right when I did that, he must have noticed or something because it started to back away. I guess trying not to scare me or whatever. Then I ran down to my friend's house who lived like right down the street from me, like real close. I could walk there. So I ran down there and I told him, "Hey, come see this," because you don't know we talk about esoteric stuff anyway. So when we got that, there was 2 of them, and they were flying around in the sky. Now remember, one of them in particular shot up into the I'm guessing out of the atmosphere, whatever you want to call it, very fast. I don't know what speed. I can't monitor or guess that. But it was just very fast. And then the other one kind of just faded away. And ever since then, I've been seeing orbs of light. I just call it light body. It has nothing to do with anything going around. I just call it that out of it. Just call it that because it's just
So for the audience that doesn't know what an orb is like a miniature ball of light, or a miniature sun, or just a miniature just energy form, and they're usually round. And a lot of people believe that they are actually beings that it's a being that's in the form of this orb. And I've seen them before. Where they have a smile on their face. I mean, all kinds of. I mean, really big ones, really small ones, all kinds of. So you experienced these orbs, and you felt like there was a connection, some kind of a conscious connection between you and those 2 that you seen in Maryland. and you brought your friend, and he's seen them too as well. Is that correct?
Yes.
So both of you seen the orbs, and then you had this kind of dance with them, and one of them disappeared real quick, and then the other one just kind of faded away.
It wasn't really a dance, but yes, one of them, sped away, if you will, level 100 just disappeared. And ever since then, I've been seeing them on and off for years. Truthfully, I believe if you just look up on a night sky long enough, you're probably for it. As long as you can pay attention, you have to have good eyes. Because as long as you can see the stars in the sky, you should be able to see them. Because from the distance, they look like they're just regular stars, but they're moving around. They can go closer to Earth, then further away. So I know they're not satellites. I know I heard some people say they might be satellites, but no, clearly not. Actually, the one I first saw that was close to the tree almost. That clearly wasn't a satellite. But they're usually, the ones I see personally, they're usually just all white. In fact, they're mostly just all white. I've never seen any other color. And they just go around and do what they want. And then they disappear a lot. I see them disappear a lot. And then when they disappear, that's about it. You just have to see a different one, because that one's gone.
Right,
I don't know where they go. I don't know if it's camouflage. I don't know if it's just going somewhere else. I have no idea. But yeah.
Now, Marietta, what do you think about orbs? What's your experience with orbs? Go ahead.
Well, I've had a few friends that have seen them frequently. There's a lot of things in our area, and they are different for different people have seen different ones. Sometimes the balls are white. One family has like a green ball of light that came into the house, came through the window, came through the house, and it just kind of bobbed around in their living room, and there were three people sitting there watching it and just didn't move. And it bobbed around, and then it bobbed down out again. And then I have some other people who have reported actually seeing what appeared to be to them like a fairy in it. And two people saw it. They didn't discuss it, but they went and wrote it down because they didn't want to tell each other what they seen. And they both wrote down the same thing. It looked like a being inside. And that one was like the size of like a basketball. And it went between them. They were in the woods. It came toward them, and it was bright. Came toward them, went between them, chased the one girl, and then just went on.
Huh. Because the ones I've seen are usually photographs, or even on film, on video or whatever. But I don't know that I've seen any orbs with the naked eye dancing around or flying around or whatever.
We have quite a few sightings of those in this area. I have one lady that comes to me that has had them come and bob around her light on her doorbell, and it would come at night and bob around the light, and one time a cat was out there, and it went all around the cat, they were checking the cat out.
Not funny.
So they're interesting. They have some sort of, at least some of them have some sort of mentality.
Got it.
Yeah, it's the size of a basketball. That's interesting, because if you really that's very close to the size I would give an estimate. That small or just a large bowling ball. But it's interesting.
Yeah, I've seen in pictures where they're as big as a basketball, and not sure if they're much bigger than that, but around there. And I've seen all kinds of shapes and sizes. So, like I said, when somebody took a picture of an orb and they sent it to me, and they had it literally, I had a face on it. It had two eyes and a mouth. So that was kind of interesting.
I think that kind of report too.
Yeah.
Another one has been a couple of different people have brought me pictures of orbs and they were in churches. And Nancy, one of my partners, is a photograph, knows all about photography and stuff. And she can tell if they bring the orb, whether it's just light reflection or if it's actually orbs. And she has identified two different church ones that were actually orbs.
Now, have you, Jamal, have you ever identified an orb and known who it was that was representing, or anything like that?
An orb?
Yes.
Have I ever identified one? Like what?
Like an orb came up to you, and you recognized it being some friend of yours, or some being that you knew or something like that? Have you ever identified any of them like that?
No, no. To me, it's just all the light. I know it's something there. Clearly, it's moving around. It's not just random light. It's clearly conscious, if you will, or control of the movement at the very least. But I haven't identified it as any friends or anything like that.
Yeah. What about you, Marietta?
No, I don't have anybody that recognizes them as an actual anybody they can identify. It's always been, something that just took them by surprise. I do have one pilot that brought me video, and he would sit with his, and he did it on his phone, and he used two different cell phones. He bought both cell phones. He would sit in his house, and most people were very psychic, him and his wife were both very psychic. But he would sit in his house, and he'd just sit very quietly, and he would say, if you're here, show yourself, and in about a minute's time, all of a sudden, these lights would start going all over the place. It was very interesting, because it was like they were digging, right, and they moved around, and he had a whole bunch of them.
Got it. So, Jamal, have you like these UFOs that you're saying that you've seen? Were you able to identify what kind of shape or size they were in whatever capacity you've seen them at?
I've seen one was mostly light, because the light is so bright that you can't really see anything within it. That's super close. So I've only seen one where it was like super close, and that was around this neighborhood I used to live in called Woods End. And that was very interesting. Me and my friends run around at nighttime, and then we saw it come out of nowhere. We was like, I don't know, I'm not good with estimates of distance, but no greater than at least 3 football fields away. I'm very bad at distance. But I know one thing, he was just hovering around. They always move slow, I don't know why, maybe they're looking for something. I don't know. I just consider it another thing in the world. And that's like, I can't really explain it. It's like a silvery color, if you can see through the light.
Right.
Also reflecting oxygen. So let's say if you ever had, maybe if you were eating at a restaurant and you were eating with the fork and knife, and maybe one of the lamps overhead glanced off of the fork or knife, you would see the reflection of the light, but you also would see the fork. Mostly the light would be obscuring your view, shining on your face. It would kind of be like that. And then the other time I seen one, it was orange, and it was these helicopters kept flying around, and it just kept turning into this big thing. That could have been the government or anything. I don't know what that was. But I doubt a UFO was going to turn into a helicopter.
So now, and what about, have you ever seen any aliens, like literally physically aliens, like in physical bodies, like, just come by, walk through or come by or...
Yeah, but in an interesting way. So, have you ever heard of this plant called salvia?
Salvia?
Yes.
Have you, Marietta?
When you say planet?
No, a plant called salvia.
No, I have not heard of that.
Okay.
Well, it's a type of sage. It's in the sage family.
Oh, yes, okay.
Yes. Native Americans used to use it for their spirit quest or their spirit walk. And I've taken salvia before. I don't do drugs. I want to, illustrate that right now. Salvia is a plant, and it was for spiritual things. And because I want to investigate it, I could read all the experiences that people had all day, but until I could see it, I couldn't verify it. I don't want to research it and just look up things and say, oh, that's how it is. I want to find it out. I want to study it so I can record for it. So I did salvia, and I actually have a video on my YouTube. And for me, it lasted about 25 minutes, which is interesting because for most people, it lasts about 10 minutes. But I took 2 big inhales. Now, when you inhale salvia, until you exhale, you won't feel any effect. Because the plant is conscious, just like many things in this world, almost everything in this world is conscious. But it will wait for you to exhale until it shows you anything. So right when I exhaled, that's when I basically went into a different plane of existence. I'm not gonna call it a dimension. I'm not gonna call it a realm. I don't know if it was a different planet. I can't tell you that. All I know is that my spirit left my body temporarily, and I was looking at this other creature, which was purple, pretty interesting, and it felt like, when I say 30 years, and I know a lot of people always ask me, like, why do I think it's 30? But it's almost like having a gut feeling, and you just was right about it. You know, I'm pretty sure everyone has had that intuition kick in their life when they're like, man, I should do this, or I should do this, or they have a feeling about something they have no extra information on, they just happen to be right. And that's one of these situations.
It's called intuitive information. Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, so basically I lived as this creature for quite some time, and it had other creatures, wherever it was. Like I said, I don't know if it was a planet or a different dimension, can't tell. But eventually we saved this planet from these things, or whatever this was. I don't want to know to call it a planet, but since we were living there, why not? You know, I guess somewhere it has to be a planet, even if it's not brown like ours. Let's call it that for the sake of where they lived there. And then eventually I had to go back after everything was done. And I had to experience death, which is interesting in itself because it's longer than what I was saying. To me, it felt like months rather than just 1 minute alive, next minute dead. And I know a lot of things would come out of nowhere and like clamp into me, almost like magnetism, but nothing was metal. And I was trying to resist it, but it was in vain. Basically, any resistance would just put you down even further. And it's like, you can't define death. You're dying, you're dying. There's no getting around it. You can jump back in your body. So eventually it went back into this plane of existence, basically where I was when I took it, and then I was back into the human form. It took a while to actually get back. I materialized from my hand for some reason, I don't know why. I materialized from my hand first. And then my body just started to reconstruct itself, and then I just was in the chair. And like I said, it's on YouTube channel, I filmed it for documentation purposes. You can see the video, and I even explain more. That was like a 40-minute video. But yeah, I definitely know because I've seen it and I looked at it that there's other entities of this planet. They look nothing like the ETs that most people talk about. Nothing about them is humanoid. At least the ones that I saw, there's probably trillions of them in the Lord universe. It was more like a I don't want to say slug, but that's not a good example because that's nowhere near how it looks. But the best way I can kind of explain for purposes of imagination is slug mixed with a dinosaur, don't ask, and it will not make sense. It doesn't make sense when I say it, so that's the only close two things that I can kind of put out. And they have these weird type of arms. Very weird.
So now, let me get this straight. You did this salvia that you're talking about, and I think I've seen videos where people got on and they I don't know, they just kind of freaked out or something like that. But you know, you did this stuff, and all of a sudden you had an outer body experience. Is that what I hear you saying?
Yes, that's going to happen to anyone.
So you had an outer body experience, and when you did this, you literally went to another planet. Is that what I hear you saying?
Another plane of existence. Yes.
Plane, okay, so another dimension. You went to another dimension.
I'll tell you that. It wasn't Earth. Let's put it like that. It wasn't the Earth.
So you went to another dimension, and when you went to this other dimension, this other place, you experienced seeing an entity, a being that looks kind of like a combination of a snail or slug type of dinosaur or something like that.
Yes, but at the same time, like I said, the snail and dinosaur analogy is just for a slight imagination.
Okay, so that's kind of the okay. So I hear you say it's kind of a combination of that type of entity or being, and but this being wasn't very tall, or was it about as tall as you were, or how tall was this thing?
That's the thing, I can't tell. It's almost like the way I have this memory, It's almost like trying to remember how tall you were when you were 7 years old. But yeah, you were conscious and you were aware of drinking, but details just fade away. I'm pretty sure all the memories that I had is that thing transferred into my mind that right now I go crazy or something. Because, like I said, it felt like I was living with that thing for years. And on the thing, in the physical world, I was only out of my body for 20 to 25 minutes. In the video, you can see that. But this is where time doesn't really have structure comes from. Because personally, I don't believe in time.
So when you did this, and when you had this experience, even though it was 25-minute long, it felt like several years long. Is that what I hear you saying?
Yes.
Got it. And now, Marietta, what are you picking up on any of this, or do you know anything about this stuff?
Not a lot. It sounds like you went into another dimension, is what it sounds like to me. I was curious to know, could you see anything besides that? What were you seeing around you?
Eventually, was looking at it. So the whole thought about it, the thing I was looking at. There's more of a physical thing than a spiritual thing. Not like I'm a floating spirit or something like that. People think of out of body things that. But I think my spirit went into this thing, this energy. But the other things that I remember seeing mostly is just several things that look like it. It's like on this world, we know different people, they're not us. On that, wherever I was, I knew other things that looked like it, but it was just things that it knew. I'm not sure if it was family of the thing, friends of the thing, I do not know. Very hard for me to remember that part, like creating and all that stuff. I do remember we were able to communicate telepathically, which is very interesting because the way as humans that we can see collectively, we think that it's just, okay, I can talk to you like I'm talking to you right now without moving my mouth and do it mind versus mind. Like I can go into your mind and talk. But in reality, when I was listening, it's like I could read a whole book in just a mere second. I could transfer over that much information to whatever else I was telepathically communicating with that rapid. So it's not like I just had to talk, I could get information. So that's how they communicated, which I found very interesting.
So it was like an instant download of information. Is it safe to say that?
Yes.
So, and I mean, you can download a whole encyclopedia set in a matter of seconds, and not even think twice about it.
Yeah, if you will, although they didn't have encyclopedias.
Well, I'm just saying, it's like that.
I hear you. Sure the audience understands.
Got it.
I want you to. Another thing. Huh?
No, go ahead.
No, I was just about to say with telepathy, also can give other people your emotional. It's not just about words and communication. Feelings, how your body senses or whatever. So if you're hot, you're not allow them to understand that, to feel that. Someone like to communicate with that as well.
Interesting. So in this process, you're also emoting and not just communicating via telepathy as well.
Correct.
So now, what's your experience with telepathy and so forth, and downloading, Marietta?
Well, the only thing that's bringing to mind when he's talking about this, I have read a couple other experiences where people describe something a little bit like this. One of them was a near-death experience, and I don't remember what it was in, but I read it. But they described something sort of like what he was describing.
Got it. And I want to apologize, especially to those people on YouTube here or YouTube or whatever. That again, I'm in Sedona, Arizona. I'm at the Whole Food Market here in Sedona, who have graciously allowed me to do my show here at their place. And there's traffic in the background, so if it's really I'm doing it as good as it gets right now. So I apologize if it's not if you're having problems with the audio. So I tell you what, let's take a break. Let's go ahead and take a break, and let's play some music by Mangalananda. I want to play Jamal. No, I think we did that last time. Hang on, time out. Let me find a song. Oh, Jay Ambe by Mangalananda from his album Bajo Ma, divine curtain of divine mother. So anyhow, I want to send out love, blessings, healings, angels of light, and love to all those people here on the chat room and on the phone lines, all our family and friends, to all the people here at Whole Life Whole Food Market here in Sedona. To my buddy Russell, I just encountered him. I haven't seen this guy in like I don't know how many years, and we met each other, and actually in Flagstaff years ago, and then we both went to work in the Grand Canyon and together, and then that was an interesting experience. And then I left, and then I don't know. I think he still stuck around for a little while. Yeah, I haven't seen him since then. And so all of a sudden, out of the blue, I came down here to Sedona and decided to spend the day here. And actually, it was an incredibly beautiful day here, absolutely gorgeous. It doesn't get any better than that. If you want to check out Paradise, you can come out here and check it out and see what you think. Anyhow, I do want to go ahead and send out